I did, but I forgot to actually join the game and sign in.
Joining the game would help.
So you didn't have any time this week, but did you at least read my long, well-researched post?
Fuck no.
Oh, I read it.
God. Well, good. Yeah, you commented on it.
It was very well researched.
I got a new avatar.
It was very well researched. I was impressed.
What was I supposed to be doing? Working?
I knew it, Yoder. No, you weren't supposed to be working. Don't be ridiculous.
That's right.
Oh my god, I gotta set everything up. Let's turn this down. Not to 0, that's too low.
Oh, and by the way, that picture that somebody made was so damn funny.
Yes, of the ghost fingering.
Very high quality.
The scary music started.
I better unmute
Did we
it.
have scary music the other day?
I was listening to it, but I didn't start the Rhythm Bot playlist, so you guys didn't hear it.
Perfect.
Cool.
So I was having a great time. It was very atmospheric, and everyone else fuck off.
Was not aware.
Yeah. You can go back and watch the VOD if you want to get the experience with all the cool creepy music. All right, so what happened last time? Who wants to summarize? Anyone other than Liuv?
And say not it.
Anyone at all? I mean, I can do it.
What about one of you
XP
guys
is hard
who
to
never
get.
does it?
What's that?
I didn't take very good notes.
Yeah, I never.
The notes that I have for last session is Sammy and Valley High went down the stairs, and in parentheses I wrote holding hands maybe. That's all I got.
Those are your notes for last week. Okay. Well, let me think here. Yep. Sammy and Valley High came down the stairs and rejoined everyone, and somebody. I don't know what that sound is. Maybe it's in the music. Maybe I should turn the music down some.
I
Or
think it was
somebody's
me
knocking on his
spinning this
desk.
fidget spinner that my children left on my desk. I put it away now.
That might have been my chair creaking.
I farted.
You know what? No, it was probably the fart. That was it. Okay, so basically you made an appointment to meet Echo Scarlatti in the morning. And you came back and she gave you her pitch for joining the Free Council, or at least for considering it, and showed off some magic technology and so forth. She would like, she likes new members, but at the same time, she successfully identified you four as involved in an outbreak of cadavers a week or so ago. And she felt you might want to clean up after yourselves, since the Guardians of the Veil have been running around going berserk, trying to clean everything up. And she seems pretty certain that they had to drop that task on the ground, and some cadavers at least are still wandering around the isthmus. And she's not sure where they've gone, but she wants them cleaned up, and that will put you in her good books, and and then you can talk membership. And then you drove off to a weapons store, and on the way, Albacore hung his head out the window looking for magic bookstores, and actually managed to find one.
Woo!
So you might want to hit that up. And see what you can find. And you went to the weapon store, and Norlin picked through all the shitty weeb swords and found a pretty good one. Not a katana, but something else. And Sammy bought a big old glaive. And who else? Yoder bought a bunch of grenades and a rocket launcher, and I think Albacore bought a flashlight, really
And a
good
lantern.
flashlight.
And a Zippo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there were Slim Jims and Yoo-Hoos.
Yep. So I did encourage you to. It sounds like Albacore Liu didn't have time to do this, but if you want to think a little bit quick here, it's not too onerous of a task, but what yeah what we could. You don't have to leap straight from Paradigm Solutions and your meeting with Echo to beating the trail of cadavers and searching, for clues. You could take a day or two here and rest. And first of all, that'll clear up any lethal wounds any of you still have.
Let's do that.
But what else? What else did you want to do? You can pick up some armor somewhere. You can buy some more supplies.
I did some stuff. I did some things. I hung around town. I found a military surplus store. Bought myself a flak jacket and a raincoat.
Oh.
And then I was talking with...
Why don't you buy flak jackets for all of us, you rich bastard?
We're all rich. We have 400,000... Whatever.
That's not liquid assets. We haven't liquidated.
I will give you one golden crown. Fine. Literally. I went and bought flak jackets for everybody. I don't know. Yes, fine. I was nice. I bought flak jackets for everybody.
That's very
Thanks,
generous.
You're not
of
as tight-assed as everyone says about you.
Yeah. And then what else did I do? Yes, flak jacket and a raincoat.
So everyone can add a flak jacket to your equipment.
I didn't buy everybody raincoats because
No.
they're
That would be ridiculous.
that'd be too much. Yeah, everybody could afford their own raincoat.
Well, you bought a nice raincoat. It was probably more expensive than the flak jacket. But the flak jacket should give you... let's see here. I see probably 2 armor for the flak jacket, but at a cost of -1 defense. It's just harder to move.
2 armor.
Yep. So +2 armor and -1 defense. It's a little harder to move when you're
I
wearing.
can't edit my defense. Or no, my defense is lower. So how do I do that?
That's a great question. Let's see.
It won't let me.
It makes
don't
you
worry.
less dexterous.
It does. But I mean, you don't subtract from dexterity.
Right.
Just leave it, and we'll just try and remember.
All right, so I did that. And then I also managed to spend some time talking with Valley High and learn myself the Healing Heart Road.
Yeah, boy.
So I did that, and then a couple other things. I just talking with Valley High. I learned about all of the magical items and things that you can do. So I went and did that. And,
The tool, you mean? The tools?
yes, a couple things. Like I just got to find the right page so I can refresh myself.
So you can French yourself?
Refresh.
Wow, you learned a lot.
Let me get to the right page. Just so I'm saying the right things.
Page 89 for tools.
Yes.
And you're scrolling through your PDF right now. You gotta get to
All right. So
page
yeah,
89.
I did 2 things. So a path tool, I didn't worry about so much.
Okay.
I did some Arcana tools.
Oh.
I got a big tattoo on my arm of the Watchtower from my awakening.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Subtle.
And
So, well, it says prominent tattoo can be an Arcana tool.
it's on your, is it your upper arm, your lower arm,
My lower arm, like my forearm, on my
on the
right
outside
arm.
of your lower forearm?
Like if I'm looking at my palm, it's on that part of my forearm.
Okay, so it's on the inside of your forearm.
Yes.
And it's recall that your tower during your awakening was a water tower
That's fine.
that had what did it have written on it? It was like
Butts.
no, it said something like over here in
Yeah.
in Atlantean, I think.
Yes, but it's of that tower.
Okay.
And then I also, whilst driving around town and I was cleaning out my truck and whatever, I found somehow in our battle with the bear parts on the hill, one of the claws somehow got stuck in my clothes and fallen in the truck. So I have the bear claw,
Oh,
and I'm using that as a spirit tool.
Wasn't that convenient?
isn't that convenient? Is that so? How are you wearing it? As like on like a necklace or?
Yes,
or,
yes,
okay.
that's a claw necklace.
Okay, so the claw necklace is a spirit tool, and the tattoo is a what? A life tool?
A
or-
life tool.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I don't know. Should I just jot that down on my character sheet? I suppose.
Just put it under equipment. You've got a lot of equipment piling up.
Well, I got lots of things when I got those grenades. Apparently.
Yeah. So the crystal knife and the bone spirit knife, you could move those down by the flak jacket and the raincoat because they are more like stuff you have in your inventory rather than stuff you're going to use. If you just want to make some room for your new implement or your new magical tools. Did anyone else do any research during the week off? Thank you, Shale. That was very good.
Yes.
I did some stuff as well.
Okay, what did you do?
I had Sodom. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Sodom, yeah.
Yeah, he helped me learn Psychic Assault as a rote.
Did you make a joke about Sodom and Gomorrah?
I may have,
Okay.
but I'm not proud of it.
Well, he he hears that joke a lot.
Yeah.
But when you made it this time, he explained that Sodom was an ancient city of mages, and that's why God punished them. Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right. I decided to make a magical tool for things. I pawned some of our gold and bought a military grade laptop.
Better for the passion.
Yeah, in case I need to hit somebody with it.
It's a Lenovo.
I turned it into a magical tool using a ceremony involving incense, a fresh install of Windows 10.
Windows 10?
Yeah. A game of NetHack. I died due to poisoning after eating a kobold on the 5th floor, and the creation of several memes, which got a total of 10 upvotes on Reddit.
I love it. Okay. Is this a path tool?
No, it is my crap. I forget what the order is called.
Free console?
Oh, the free
Yeah,
council.
the free
yeah,
council. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's an order tool.
To show my willingness to join their order, even if I'm not qualified yet.
Well, they'll like the laptop. I don't know how
Yeah.
many of them will recognize the Reddit upvotes as a meaningful form of currency, but they'll
It
like
might
the
help.
laptop. It can't hurt.
And I also practiced with my new Viking sword.
Okay.
And,
Looks like you picked up a couple of rotes.
Yeah, I had greater beast control, and Sodom helped me with the psychic assault. And
Nice.
I practiced with my sword a bit, and that I practiced by binge watching Vikings
And just doing what they do?
and just doing what they do. Yeah. So I gained some weaponry skill there, and then I practiced controlling small groups of rodents and insects that I could find around.
So we discussed that, and so beast control is mind 2, and or I forget, minor beast control or basic bitch control or whatever it's called.
Yep.
It lets you control the smallest, most rudimentary minds like insects and rodents. And I told you that I figured if you had mind 3, that would give you the ability to control many of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas Mind 3 also gives you access to greater beast control, which involves more complex minds like dogs and cats and other animals.
Yep.
But you'll still only be able to control one of those at a time. They're too complicated for a horde of cats.
All right.
All right, Drew, what'd you do?
Keep working at it, though.
Yeah.
Well, I went out and bought a set of lock picks and a
Oh.
gunsmithing kit for cleaning guns. So somebody's got to take care of our firearms.
Fair point. Yes. Turn this music down a little more. YouTube chat is being really quiet. Hey,
Yeah,
I know you
I don't
people
know
are there.
It's weirding me out.
All right, Liuv, have you got anything for Albacore, or was that not enough time?
So there was a couple of things I wanted to do, and one of them was rather complicated, and I'm trying to piece it together. But so I want to start. One of the things I know I was going to do was do the dedication ceremony or whatever for that golden dagger I got to make it a path tool.
Okay.
Because it's for knives. I'm sorry, for weapons. Golden knife is a. Well, I'm sorry, just a knife is an Obermos path weapon. Then the other thing I wanted to do, and let me know if you want to figure this out. I can keep trying to remember exactly how I was going to do it. Was I want to make a magic item that we can hand around and like essentially activate it for mana. And I think I figured out a way to do it.
Okay. But you okay.
But I don't have it like prepared.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that some other time then. But
Okay, that's fine.
But that sounds like it's gonna take more prime than you have. But I mean, feel free to try and convince me.
Well, so I'll throw it out just real quick. Imbue item.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I turned the page and I lost it. But imbue item allows you to basically make a magical item. And then I have a spell where you can gain mana from a mana pool, and then items themselves can have mana.
Sure.
So I was going to imbue an item with that spell and then load mana into that item. But I'll work out the details.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe that's actually, I mean, the actual spells involved are only prime, well, imbue item is prime 3 for sure. It's going to take like an extended spell cast to make the duration, more or less permanent. But, you can look into that and we can take a look and think about it. But it's an interesting idea, passing around the old mana bong.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It was that's actually was going to be a bong.
The mana bong, yeah, sure. All right. Okay. Did you pick up any rotes, or do you know of any
Nope.
that you want? Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
He just went to the library and got lost in all the books. he's generally convinced that this is real.
Did you check out the magic bookstore?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know if we wanted to do that as a group or if that was something I should do on my own. But
Well, is anyone else interested in a magic bookstore? Or is that something that Liu should do?
I'm
before?
fine with him going on his own. I wanted to talk to Valley High more about to basically gain the insight that I researched
Okay.
regarding awakenings.
Okay. Well, Valley High, you've already asked him, hey, can you put me in some serious peril so I can reawaken? And Valley High more or less recoiled and said, no, that's not... we don't do that around here.
Okay, yeah, I understand, but
Yeah,
now I've
but
thought
then,
more
but
about it.
yeah, okay. And he will have offered to help you research, and you can find out about the Guardians of the Veil and their labyrinth, and you can find out about the adamantine arrow and their methods.
Yeah, I thought about learning about that at the bookstore, but it doesn't seem a Sammy kind of thing to do.
Learning, book learning, literal book learning.
learning.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, I mean, my character sheet says the best 5th grade education you get.
Been working on it for years.
Okay. Well, then you tell me if you want to follow up on any of that. Yeah.
So he's told me what I have found out about the adamantine arrow and the awakening gambit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Will he tell me where I could find the adamantite arrow, and I'd like to talk to them about this Kingmaker fellow that we encountered. See if he was associated.
Sure. So what Valley High tells you then is that there is a high concentration of adamantine arrow mages in the Madison police force. And but he warns you against just walking into the, police headquarters and saying, "Hey, any mages here?"
Yeah.
Because the adamantine arrow values self-reliance and independence and strength, but they also view themselves as sort of the magic police, So while they're not as religious about keeping magic secret as the Guardians of the Veil, they do still like to keep things orderly.
Okay.
But, you could ask as you move around the city, just ask your friends to cast their eye toward any police and see if any of them are glowing with magical auras and things.
Okay.
Some of them might be.
My thought was, I'm going to walk into police headquarters and say, "Hey, I've got some information that may be of interest to people about some goings-ons in Sudbury, Canada."
Sudbury, Canada, and any cop who isn't a mage is going to say, "Oh well, that's outside our jurisdiction."
Correct. Or what the fuck do we care about that shit?
Yeah.
We got corpses walking around.
Yeah. So, well, if you relay that plan to Valley High, he says, "Okay, well, actually, as I'm sure you've observed, there's not a lot of mages here right now because most of the people who would normally be here or hereabouts have gone up to Sudbury, and the adamantine arrow more than most, since they're magic soldiers and magic cops and magic warriors, they have definitely deserted Madison at the moment, and most of them are either in Sudbury or on their way there because they relish the idea of putting down a few thousand undead. But, that's not to say there aren't a few left over. I mean, I'm still here after all."
I will refrain from making a comment about him being a winded old bitch. All right, fine. I'll have my fruitcake friends look for glowy tails.
All right. Well, just because, he would estimate that probably a quarter of the police force in Madison is adamantine arrow, which is kind of an incredible ratio. But, they're all mysteriously taking vacations and sick leave at the moment, so. Okay, the Merovingian wants to check out the bookstore then, or did anyone want to go with him?
I'll go over there with him. Why not?
Yeah, sure. I'll go
So someone's going to have to drive. I mean, the guy doesn't have a car.
It's true. He's a good driver, but he doesn't have a car.
Yeah, well, I mean, he learned.
I can drive.
Okay. Well, you passed it on your way to the weapons store, and you passed it too quickly to get its name on the first trip. But now you stop in front, and there's magical glitter flowing out of the windows and so forth, and it's just sort of dispersing into the air. It's too much to be a coincidence. This place was off the beaten path a little bit. It's not right on State Street. It's on one of the adjacent streets. It looks like a residence. But the magic pumping out of this place makes you want to take a closer look. And as you get closer, you see a small sign that says Daydream. That's the name of the store, apparently.
Daydream.
So how do you proceed?
Go and open the door, I guess.
Hey! Well, it smells musty as hell. the bell jingles and dings. There's a little bell. The door that is has a bell on it, and it jingles and dings as you open it. And there's a little bookish man, a little bookish woman behind a pile of books at a desk, and she looks up and raises an eyebrow, and she is the only person in the store.
Hello.
Can I help you?
Yes, we're looking for books.
Well, you have found books.
Ah, good.
Hooray!
What kind of books do you sell here?
She's staring at you intently, and why don't you all give me, the three of you anyway,
Yeah.
Gnosis plus investigation.
I am going to come with them because I was bored.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Um,
Honey Badger. All right. So Honey Badger doesn't notice anything. The rest of you see what looks like a series of spears made of light begin to emit from this woman's head, almost like a crown, a very large crown. It doesn't look like she's casting a spell or anything. You sort of instinctively guess that this is her nimbus, and she's exposing to you the fact that she is a mage.
Ah.
Hot.
Yeah, she's exposing herself. So she's exceptionally fit. She's around 40 years old. So I mean, if that's what you're into, you know, she's surrounded by books. If that's what you're into.
Nice.
Well, we have. I'm going to guess quite a lot of the sort of books you're looking for, actually.
It looks like you might.
So the back room here, and she stands up and turns around and just walks around a shelf. I mean, it's not like there's a hidden door or anything.
Is there at least a beaded curtain?
No, there's no curtain. I mean, it's. Sammy, would you roll wits plus composure?
Okay.
Sammy / Drooby / Honey Badger.
Holy balls.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of wits for a 5th grade education.
yeah.
They're wits. They're not intelligence.
Ah, fair.
All right, well, 2 successes is sufficient to notice the doorway, all right? But you didn't notice it when you first walked into the building. You thought there was just a, you know, it's like the somebody else's problem field from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you know? It wasn't, it's not invisible, it's not hidden, but your gaze just sort of slid around it and regarded it as unimportant. Now that you've watched her walk through the door, you're peering and oh yeah, there is a door there. So it's just sort of obscured somehow and made uninteresting. And the owner or proprietor, at any rate, halfway through the door, turns around and reaches out her hand to shake yours. And I think Albacore's in the front anyway, and so she reaches out to shake your hand and says, I'm Philippa.
Philippa.
And you are?
I am the Merovingian.
Oh my. Are you aware of the reference you're making?
I am.
Are you sure?
No.
She smiles and says, "I
I'm
thought
sure
not."
of one reference I made.
I think my wife and her parents are home. Hello.
We're doing nerd stuff.
We're doing nerd stuff. I'm shouting about demons. Yeah. So
Could you
she
enlighten me?
maybe another time, or maybe you should just look it up yourself. There are plenty of books here. I have not met any of you before, have I?
No.
No,
I wouldn't
I've
think
been here
so.
before.
Yeah, you could say we're new in town.
Oh. Well, have any of the local orders snapped you up yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. We met with one of them.
Was it the seers of the throne?
No.
No.
Good. Avoid them.
They don't seem very popular.
She seems a little absent-minded, but she's walking into this back room and pointing out all sorts of books as she talks, and they're just labeled, right? They're it's not alphabetical by author. It's like, here's a section of books on Prime, and here's a section of books on Matter, and they're just out there. It's almost disconcerting, but Philippa explains that her job is to retrieve and catalog magical secrets and knowledge and keep them in this sort of a repository area here. That's what she does for a living. So if you need anything to read, any reading materials, she's more than happy to help you out. She doesn't seem to have any interest at all in keeping this stuff secret, aside from the perfunctory attempt she made to conceal the entrance to the room.
Cool.
So is this like a library kind of get a card and check books out kind of situation, or?
Oh, they can't leave here, but you can look through them.
All right, we're probably gonna have to park the camper here.
These all belong to the Mysterium.
I thought they might.
And
Is that the name of the store?
no, the store is called Daydream.
What's the Mysterium?
The Mysterium is a group of mages which collect magical secrets. They rescue them from obscurity and their arcane hiding places and stockpile them for later use. We mainly spend our time traveling around the world, looking for scraps of old spells and knowledge. And then there's the ones like me who sit here and catalog.
Would you happen to know anything about, or have ever heard about, a skin-bound book full of names?
Full of names. What
Yes.
sorts of names?
Of basically names going back through several ages, and they seem to be names of people who were perhaps like ritually sacrificed or something.
So it's a sort of ledger?
You could say that.
Yeah.
What it appears to be, yeah.
I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about.
Would you be interested in seeing one?
Interesting? Sure.
All right, maybe I'll bring it by sometime.
Let me just whip this out. Yeah, no, she would very much. I imagine she is not showing the level of enthusiasm that she probably should, because she has no idea what you're talking about. But once she gets her hands on that book, she will be very interested to study it.
Have you ever seen Have you ever seen Army of Darkness?
No,
Looks like that. Oh, wow.
fewer
You should
faces.
see it sometime. It's great.
Upon further discussion, she would. It's pretty clear that she would welcome any of you who wanted to join the Mysterium. They're not bashful about accepting new members either. And there are, unlike the Free Council, who have apparently made your membership contingent upon doing favors, the Mysterium doesn't turn away potentially talented mages. They even uneducated ones, because they can be educated. So they open your heads and fill them with all sorts of interesting knowledge. And if you want to learn any rotes, this is a great place to start. If you want to learn more about Mage Society, this is a great place to start. The Mysterium, and in particular Philippa, seem very knowledgeable. Philippa herself is a Prime and Forces mage, but she uses a lot of mind magic to give herself the ability to read faster and remember things better. And she talks a little bit like a robot.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You find out
Is she
that
a robot?
she is not a robot.
Okay.
Actually, give me a Wits plus Composure roll.
Everyone?
No, just Albacore. She is not a robot. She lets slip that she's a former Harvard professor. She's an experienced and trained chemist, and that's about all the biographical information you get from her unprompted. But here you are. You're in Daydream. You're surrounded by all sorts of books, and if you want to learn any Prime rotes, she can probably teach them to you.
That is good to know. I'm probably going to get to know her pretty well.
I'm not sure how much time you want to spend here, but at some point, I imagine. Well, you tell me. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go read some books on beast control while I wait for you guys.
Okay. Why don't you roll Gnosis plus I don't want to give you investigation yet again. How about academics? Gnosis plus academics.
Okay. That's not a great roll, but here we go.
Yeah, that was shitty.
Wow.
No, terrible roll for successes. All right, so you find enough about beast control to give you some confidence that the different levels of spells are potent in the way that I described earlier, such that you can use greater beast control to a greater extent on lesser minds. And you start to you find a few instances in the writings of people in the past who controlled flocks of crows and an anthill full of ants, or like a plague of insects may have been influenced to some great degree by a mage casting greater beast control.
Sounds good.
All right. Anyone else want to look anything up in a book? Okay. What else? What else do you want to do?
The Merovingian would like to look up the Merovingian.
It's not in a mage book.
All right, that's fine. He'll look it up.
Yeah. So, well, actually, why don't you give me an encyclopedic knowledge roll?
There we go. Which is intelligence plus wits, which is 7.
Oh my goodness. Okay, exceptional success.
Wow.
It's actually pretty mundane. The Merovingians were a Gaulish family that ruled in France in the first few centuries AD. But you find references, or you recall anyway, from some readings you've done in the past. Some weird stories about bathing in blood and stuff like that. So maybe that's what Philippa was referring to, but you're not sure.
Okay. Hey Philippa, was it the blood thing?
Well,
I just remembered.
The blood thing is certainly related. The Merovingians were practitioners. The blood
Well,
thing it was probably a ritual of some sort.
Well, so my name is a reference to the Matrix movies. So
were there
to program
were there
is not
Merovingians
blood.
in that?
There was one,
Oh,
the Merovingian.
oh,
He was French.
yeah. I don't consume much pop culture.
It's a shame. You're missing out.
All right.
I would like to look for any books about the adamantine arrow.
Okay. There is a shelf of books about the adamantine arrow.
Are there any dealing with the awakening gambit?
There are references to the Awakening Gambit, performed by the faction of the adamantine arrow known as the Kingmakers.
Kingmakers?
Oh ho!
I would
Yes.
like to.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I would like to know more.
Would you like to know more?
Let's test your literacy.
Roll your chance dice.
The book starts on fire.
Roll intelligence plus academics.
Fuck. What if I don't have a point in one of those?
If you're
-3.
unskilled, if you're unskilled in
-3
academics,
for-
it's -3.
Okay, so I roll -2 dice.
Chance die.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well,
Aw.
unfortunately, you were able to locate the shelf that said adamantine arrow, and there was one book. The first book you picked up had a chapter labeled Kingmakers, and you thought, oh, and you went and tried to read the chapter, but you weren't able to glean any useful information.
Hey, Yoder, is he with
Yeah.
us?
Yeah.
Come over here and read this shit to me. Or read it and tell me if there's anything helpful.
Okay. All right, boys and girls, let's sit down in a circle.
I have to pee.
All right.
I will read the book.
Okay. Well,
Which book is it? Do you want to point the book out to me?
Yeah, it's that one over there.
it's the red
Okay.
one.
The big yellow one.
What am I rolling? I'm not necessarily going to be any better at this.
Intelligence plus academics.
All right, at least I have all of those things. So
All right. Oh my goodness.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Well, you flip to the page about the Kingmakers and you read. The author of this book takes a highly judgmental tone in what you would have expected would be an academic study. There are all sorts of angry-sounding adjectives when the author describes the practice of the Awakening Gambit, and that sort of matches what you would expect after, Fluke's reaction to the Sudbury Kingmaker's actions. Mages in general seem to regard forcible awakening as a down-low, dirty tactic and very dangerous. But the Kingmakers, plural, from the Adamantine Arrow, is a whole order of mages who specialize in doing exactly that. They think they can recognize prospective mages. They do have criteria they adhere to, and they do have methods they use to evaluate potentials. It doesn't seem nearly as haphazard as Sudbury Kingmaker made it seem. Just ambushing some dudes in the woods. They're a little more systematic than that. But I mean, it's clear that the Kingmaker in Sudbury either took his name from the Kingmakers, or, as I mentioned earlier this week, it's possible that he was awakened by the Kingmakers himself and is sort of suffering from Stockholm syndrome or something.
So one thing I'm reading here is that it says a lot of times for the awakening, they feed you little bits of magic-y things at once, or not at once, slowly, and then once they seem like you're getting it, then they go move on faster. But if you've already seen magic, this should be easier, shouldn't it?
It's not, yeah. So it's not going to. Yes. Okay. Good point. So as you read about it, it seems like how to describe this. I mean, if you think of awakening somebody as, drilling a hole through a piece of wood, you might be a little too forcible in the process of drilling that hole and split the wood. But in Honey Badger's case, he's already had the hole drilled through the wood, and you're just sort of sticking the drill bit in and not
Reaming.
accomplishing a whole lot.
You're reaming the honey badger.
Yeah, you're reaming the honey badger. So
You don't care.
It wouldn't break him. It's not going to split the wood, so to speak, to expose him to magic. I mean, he's exposed to magic right now. He's in a book about magic, or a bookstore full of magic, and he's you guys are around him casting spells all the time. So he's not a sleeper anymore. He's a sleepwalker at this point, at the very least. So you suspect that the traumatic experience of an awakening gambit type approach maybe would not jar him like it does a sleeper into awakening. I mean, he's already seen it. He's already been there and done that. But he has lost his connection to the supernal realm. Anyway, this is you're reading about the Kingmakers, and everything you read makes it sound like the initial shock to the sleeper's mind is what awakens him, and you suspect that Sammy's already been through that, so it wouldn't work quite the same way. He's going to need some other catalyst. And he thanks you for reading the book.
Thanks.
Was I slow enough? Was I good?
I will cut you.
You didn't show me pictures for long enough.
Wish there was more pictures.
But you know what? That doesn't mean if you went and talked to the adamantine arrow, they wouldn't have some ideas about how to proceed. They may have encountered cases like yours before, mages who half awakened.
Hey, we're in a mysterium area here. They are guardians of knowledge. How about I ask the robot chick her thoughts on this whole situation?
Philippa.
Yeah, that her.
That her.
You're saying you... Oh, I see. She's looking over the top of your head at something. You had a connection to the supernal. You were a mage, and then it faded. What happened during your awakening that caused that to happen?
Well, it was a bit of a shocking shock to the system. I didn't know what was happening. I knew I and my friends were in pain, and I resisted forcefully.
Did you encounter a tower in the supernal?
I was in Oz. I mean, I know that's pulp culture and you don't consume it, but have you seen The Wizard of Oz?
I've read the book.
Jesus Christ! All right, so I was in right.
That's right.
Before
There's
me
a
laid
book.
a field of poppies, and in the distance was the Emerald City, and I refused to participate in whatever the hell was happening.
Well, there are certainly instances of mages beginning the awakening process and then, for one reason or another, failing to complete, so to speak. I have heard of trips back into the supernal realm. I don't know how to spur one to happen. She's thinking about it. But I mean, she asks you to get back to her later. She's not. She thinks it's an interesting problem.
Remind me, where does Yoder's doorway to the other dimension go to? The supernal realm or the other place?
The shadow. Okay, let me find that picture I had once upon a time. Maybe I can just drag it in here. Let's find. Here it is. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
That is awesomely small.
I can make it big.
Oh, getting bigger.
Getting bigger. Even bigger. Okay, so.
Oh, nice.
So here we are. You are in the material world. Let me draw on this. Freehand, baby.
In a material world.
How do I make the dice go away?
Click.
Just click. Yeah,
Here's Earth.
I live there.
Yeah. And over here is the shadow world or shadow realm where spirits reside. And between the two is the gauntlet. And that is what Yoder can cross with his spirit roads.
So
he's
you can
going into
cross the gauntlet into the shadow realm?
Yes.
Or shadow world?
Yes.
Okay.
And way up here, across the abyss, is the supernal world. And the trick here is crossing the abyss. And I mean, the celestial ladder that was built in in Atlantis that caused the abyss to form in the first place was an attempt by mages to reach the supernal world. So it's not that it's easy to get there, you know.
But that is where we actually were.
That is where you were. Yep, you traveled to the supernal world, and 3 of the 4 of you signed your name on a tower and established a link to the supernal world, which is what enables you to cast spells.
All right.
How tall is this bookstore?
It is 2 stories.
Does it have rolling ladders?
The shelves are not tall enough to need rolling ladders.
Aw.
I wanted to climb the rolling ladder and then just fall off backwards and hope for the best.
So I'd like to ask Philippa to tell us more about the Mysterium and what joining it would entail, and what, like, if any dues and or benefits there would be.
Well, no dues. Mystagogues, so to speak. That's what we call ourselves. We consider ourselves, some of us are librarians, and she bows and curtsies and indicates herself. And some of us are more the scholar-adventurer type who go out finding books and miracles to bring back for proper cataloging. The dues and the costs of such a lifestyle are inherent in the dangers of the adventurer to begin with. It's not safe work. So we welcome anyone who brings at least an interest in education, anyone who has at least a passing interest in knowledge. We turn almost no one away, actually. She doesn't really give you a pitch. She says, "Hey, do you want to join?"
Is there anything that joining, like, provides access to, or like, is your door open to any mage who's curious, regardless of order, or do you get the good books if you join up?
This is the tip of the iceberg. You won't find dangerous knowledge here. You won't find the most interesting books here. Those are hidden away in... I forget what they call them, but she wouldn't expect you to know the word anyway. Those are hidden. The Mysterium keeps them safe. We don't disseminate that information to the public mage society at large. But it is important nonetheless.
Are there any rules against joining multiple groups?
Are you asking her or me? I mean, they're
Her.
Oh, well, she seems to regard that as a strange question. It would be like attending 2 schools. It would be like having 2 full-time jobs.
Right.
But if you're asking me, there aren't rules against it, so to speak. I mean, you can you can accept 2 full-time jobs, but if one finds out about the other, you might be in a little bit of trouble, and you're going to be working, working yourself completely ragged trying to.
Books are lame anyway.
Yeah.
We've got the internet now.
Yeah.
There's nothing saying the free council mages can't come here and hang out once in a while, but yeah, it sounds like if you join the free council, you're not going to have access to the very best stuff.
Gotcha.
But the free council, the free council and the Mysterium are pretty friendly. The Mysterium collects knowledge, and the free council believes in using knowledge without keeping it hidden. So the Guardians of the Veil have a tense relationship with both the free council and the Mysterium, but the free council and Mysterium get along pretty well. There's no rule against you guys are a cabal at this point. Any group of mages who hang out together and have common interests are a cabal, and there's no rule against a multi-order cabal. I mean, you could all join different orders if you wanted to. Okay.
Yeah.
So Albacore could just stay here and read all day. So if you guys want to do something,
I need somebody who can still see nimbuses to go help me find a magical cop. Yoder, you up for it?
Maybe
you can read me a story.
go fight some zombies. That might awaken you.
That has a
That might
chance.
be traumatic enough.
Fine. Let's go kill some fucking zombies. I got this Guandao I needed.
Well,
You
gotta figure out how to find
gotta
them.
get your Guandao wet.
That's right.
yeah. Hey, Philippa, have you seen any walking corpses around, or do you have like some sort of mage radio scanner?
There were some near here. Yes, I know what incident you're referring to. I think it's not that common that a morgue is emptied out and walks around up the streets.
I would hope not.
I don't generally spend my time trying to detect undead creatures, though. So I know they were here on the isthmus somewhere. She doesn't know anymore, but she suggests, that you have magic at your disposal. You should probably be able to track them somehow. I mean, mages make fantastic detectives.
Magic at your disposal.
So some of you do. So you tell me, what avenue of investigation do you intend to attempt?
I say we go to the scene of the crime. But I am the one who has no magic, so I should not be trusted with
apparently, they've all got their heads in the clouds, thinking about magic all the time. You're the one thinking practically. Return to the scene of the crime.
I think that might be a good start.
Sure, let's go back to that apartment.
See some magical footprints.
The Bayshore Apartments. Let me find the good map here. This is a slightly better map. It's a little easier to actually find stuff on. So,
It's all modern and stuff.
yeah, it's googly. State Street. I think this is State
Straight
Street.
west.
So, yeah. So you are currently, like hereabouts-ish, off State Street. And
that
the
great street.
And the apartment building where the zombies were was like here-ish.
One more block, but
One more block. Okay. I'm going from memory here.
Yoder,
So-
you should probably get inside the camper because you look ridiculous with your bear hanging around your neck and
Not a bear hanging around my neck.
It was just a claw.
A bear claw.
oh, well,
rotting-
that's way more practical.
a rotting bear paw.
Keep it out. Let's do that, and then the cops will come to us, and hopefully they glow.
All right.
And we got a report of a weirdo with a bear claw around his neck wearing a.
All right. So you head back to the Bayshore Apartments. And then what?
Let's get out.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Let's
cast some spells.
I forget. Was this a secured apartment building, or can we enter at will?
You can enter at will.
I would like to go up to the apartment we were in when this all happened.
I think it was like apartment 401 or something.
Something
Sounds
right. Where when we
Yeah.
jumped out the window, it was interesting.
Well, we went to the roof before we did that, so.
All right. So you head up to apartment 401, and there's a lot of damage in this building. The hallway where you had some of the most intense fighting, there's the carpets are stained. It looks like someone has made an attempt to clean up here, but there's still some biohazard shit going on. There was a cadaver got ripped open up here and spilled its organs all over the floor. So,
Oh yeah.
and that was you guys. You did that. Great work.
Yay.
You're seeing it for the first time in the middle of the day now, though. So, why don't you roll? Everyone roll. If you want to do a mundane, non-magical investigation, let's do
Which I
intelligence.
would, because
Yeah.
it's what I.
Intelligence plus investigation. If you want to do something magical, then either suggest something and make a roll, or you can ask me for some inspiration, and we can roll and see if you feel inspired. One success from the honey badger.
I have sense consciousness, but that's going to be like people, right? It's not really
Yep.
going to be a
Probably
zombie
people, yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Pulse of the Living World gives me Mage Sight, which detects mystic animation in the area. What does that mean exactly?
Let's see here. Let me find this.
Is there a radius on that?
What was the name of the spell again?
Pulse of the Living World.
Pulse of
It's the life
Living
Mage
World.
Sight.
Well, just assume that Mage Sight is, it's generic, and it gives you the ability to see whether something is supernatural or not.
Okay.
The different flavors of Mage Sight do have little addendums bolted on, but it's not gonna
Okay.
do
Well, let's
anything
see.
super stupendous.
In theory, we're trying to detect zombies, so nothing with necessarily life in it. So using sense life probably wouldn't be a whole useful.
Does somebody have death magic, or is that Mr. No Magic?
I
yeah.
have one. I have one death magic.
The Merovingian has 1 point in death magic.
Yes, he does.
Did I find anything with my one success?
Well, you were the first to notice the fact that there's part of a liver under the radiator in the hallway.
It wasn't very thorough of a cleaning job, I guess.
No, the second one to notice was Yoder because he stepped in it.
Sweet.
Nice.
So I would like to do just the general normal person looking about investigation. What was the roll?
Intelligence plus investigation.
I'll do that too, just in case.
I would like to ask Yoder who's taking care of his animals while he's on these shenaniganery travels.
Hey,
I got some random people that
Of course you do.
they
got a guy.
I trade them. They take eggs, therefore take care of the chickens. We're good system. Not exactly hard to take care of chickens. You really just gotta make sure there's
Throw some corn at them occasionally.
Really not hard. And then
Perfect.
collect eggs.
all right. So you've collected a little evidence here, but why don't Timmy and Albacore give me also a wits plus streetwise roll to see if you can interpret it.
No.
That's 1 dice for me.
Okay. Okay. So the physical evidence is chaotic and hard to interpret. It looks like there were feet stomping around and doors broken, and it looks like there was a huge fight here, which there was.
It's true.
Was
What-
it our fight?
It was. You see the stomping, the evidence of stomping and naked people spilling guts on this floor in particular, out in the hallway mainly. But it looks like the stairwell was pretty heavily occupied, up and down both directions. Yeah, but you're not you're not Aragorning it up or anything. You're not. There was a gunfight. So what would somebody with a magic laptop do? Like, what would Mr. Robot do if his laptop was magic?
I'd hack into the wireless and see if anybody's posted on Facebook about
Zombies.
corpses in their apartment.
You know what? I mean, let's do something with your laptop. I mean, you've. Well, let's roll. So what kind of a spell would it be? What would you do with mind magic on your laptop? Like, why don't you roll mind plus computer plus intelligence, and we'll see if you can invent a spell of some sort.
Okay. Wow, that's 9 dice.
All right. So you are a programmer, and you it occurs to you that a program, the decision engine inherent in a program is sort of like a very simple AI.
Yeah.
And it strikes you that if you were to somehow imbue a program with mind magic, you could not create a mind. That seems like it would be beyond your grasp, but you could certainly make a program that's a whole lot smarter than any you've ever programmed in the past, and you could, like without spending 3 years training an AI with pictures of cats, you could probably cobble together a pretty convincing image recognition type of AI, or some other AI, a Go playing AI. You think you could write an AI pretty easily.
Yeah.
So if that gives you any ideas, something to scan social media or something to.
Did we come through any crime scene tape to get in here?
No, interestingly, you did not.
There's a goddamn liver on the floor, and
There
someone
is a
tried
liver.
to there was no crime scene tape.
No crime scene tape at all.
I'd like to scan for any sort of weird pictures of naked people.
Naked people.
Oh, that's open-ended.
I mean, this is the internet we're talking about.
Okay. Dead-looking people.
Naked people.
Dead. I mean, this is the internet we're talking about. Okay, so you wanna
And like cross-reference it with like location on the image tags.
So let's invent a spell. Let's call it purposeful AI. It's a limited artificial intelligence that you can write in script form, and it will work on one task, and it'll do a better job than you could, and it'll do a better job than most other programs could. It's not an independent mind, but you're putting some of your own mind into this task, and letting it operate on its own. So you want to cast purposeful AI to scan for naked people. All right. Gnosis plus mind. Just
All right.
and with a +1 for the fact that you're programming on a magic laptop. Three successes.
Nice.
All right. And after about 10 minutes of poking at the keyboard, you hit enter and then background the task and let it work.
All right.
Okay, so you were marveling at the fact that there's no police tape here. In fact, you don't see any people here either. There's It's very empty. It's a very empty building.
So let's go back to the apartment where we initially went.
Okay. You climb the stairs. There's no one. You get to the floor. There's no one. You knock on the door. Nobody answers. You open the door. There's no one inside. Yoder, are you sensing life right now, or was that just an idle thought?
No, yeah, I turned it on.
Okay.
Cast it.
Why don't you go ahead and roll? What's the roll for that? Well, Gnosis plus life.
Yeah, just knows its life. All right. Nice.
One success. There are no life senses anywhere in the building near you. The only life you sense is straight down.
Like, how far down?
Like if there was a basement in this building, it would be there.
I would like to
Hey,
take out my glaive and assemble it.
Hey, Stu. Stu, are you here?
Sure. Yeah. Hey.
Hey. Here, I got something for you to do if you're bored.
I was having a good time.
Actually, I don't care if you're bored. Go look in the basement.
Oh. All right. Sure.
Let me know what you find.
Okay.
Be specific.
Finger anything that moves.
All right.
Go look in the basement. Come back up here. Tell me what you see.
No
Be specific.
problem. No problem.
Specifically,
No.
look for things that are alive, and tell me anything that is alive downstairs.
Oh, okay. One sec.
Also,
One
if there are
sec.
things that are dead.
How about anything moving? Just
Yeah.
You're confusing him. You're confusing him.
don't narrow his focus. Just tell us what's in the basement.
Alive or dead or moving.
Yes, we'll start with that, because otherwise he's going to come back and tell us about a bag of Cheetos he found.
Okay. All right. Well, while he goes down and then comes back up, that's when Timmy does all his programming and hits enter. Anybody else want to spend the next couple minutes doing something?
I am assembling my glaive.
You were assembling your glaive for the first time, so it might take a couple minutes. Figure out
fair.
where all the pins go and so forth.
I mean, it's three things that sew together. It's going to be really tricky.
All right. So Stu comes back.
Learn to read.
Stu comes back, and whoa, man, there's like I couldn't count, but it's more than three. There's a bunch of people just standing down there. I mean, they're not moving. I know you told me to look for stuff that's moving, but they're down there. They're just standing still.
Okay. Were their eyes open?
Oh, hang on. Let me go check.
All right.
He disappears for a couple more minutes.
I think we should throw a grenade in the basement.
They fire a rocket into the basement. Yeah. He comes back up. Yeah, their eyes are open. Why do you ask?
Just curious.
Okay, sure thing, boss.
Did they have eyes?
Oh, hang on, let me check.
Can Stu even hear me?
Of course he can hear you.
Okay. Can I hear Stu?
No. But
Hence why I didn't want to get confused.
Stu disappears.
I feel like I'm just being a dick to Stu now.
All right, I'd like to. Elvicor is going to look around the apartment and just see if anything has changed since we were here.
Are we still in the apartment?
Yeah.
Why don't you? So what do you want to? Do you want to look magically or eyeball-ly?
I guess eyeball-y to start.
Okay.
Like there was a computer, there was a coffee table, there was furniture, there were things. I guess I'm wondering, has like the whole building been cleaned out, or have just the corpses been disappeared?
Yeah. Okay. Intelligence plus investigation. Stu comes back. Yeah, they have eyes. One success. All right.
Wow.
So
Only one.
this room, as far
They
as you
say
can
we didn't have
remember,
eyes.
you do have a good memory. As far as you can remember, the room has not been touched. I mean, nothing's moved. Nothing's been, It looks like there were guts spilled all over the place, and the bodies are gone, and the worst of the guts are gone. But whoever cleaned this up did not do a very thorough job.
So it's like a really shitty Men in Black kind of situation.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Hey Timmy, you want to try that computer again?
I'm still waiting for my results, man.
No, I mean that computer over there, the one you couldn't get to turn
Oh.
on last time, or whatever it was.
It was a clean install of Windows.
Oh, that's right. There was nothing there.
I installed Firefox though, so everything's fine. I can check out the computer while I'm waiting for my program to finish.
So I guess I'd like to look magically.
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 Yeah, magically.
Yes, I feel like to see like if there's any magical residue, I guess.
You have a spell kind of like that, but if it exists, I don't think you have it as rote. So let's just do Gnosis plus Prime.
Sounds about right.
One success. Well, the last time you were here, you were not a mage. So you're noticing a lot of things that you didn't see last time you were here. You can see like every spell Fluke cast while she was standing in this room. You can see them as like individual, like little signatures, like little explosions of magical. It's like you're following her path around the room as she casts different spells. The brightest one is, strangely enough, not the celestial fire that she cast in the doorway at one of the cadavers there. The brightest one covers sort of a whole half of the room where she was standing when she first appeared to you, and it strikes you that it looks like maybe she was using it to conceal her presence.
She wasn't doing that.
But you would interpret the brightness as either the strength of the spell or the length of time it was active or something like that. Beyond Fluke's signature here, you do see, or you feel, I suppose, some other spells cast around the building. They don't feel like Fluke.
Oh my.
Must have been the crappy cleanup crew.
Or the guy who summoned the fucking zombies to come at us.
True.
Okay, so strangely enough, your laptop makes a dinging sound like a toaster that's done with its bread.
I programmed that.
Ding, chunk. And what you get is it found images from every webcam within 6 blocks. And I need to turn the music down a little bit. Holy crap.
It's getting really exciting.
It is. So webcams, security cameras, even like backup cameras on the backs of modern cars, although those are at extremely low frame rate and low resolution. There's not a lot of high quality video footage, but somehow this program you wrote in 10 minutes has cobbled together a pretty impressive observational map of the area, and you can see some of the webcams in this building, for example, were like the one on the computer in this room saw what happened in this room, and you can see some of the other webcams in this building were pointed in directions where they could see out into hallways, and you can see that people sort of busted down doors and collected the residents at some point in the last couple of days. And the Nest cameras outside and the Google Home cameras and the security cameras and the backup cameras, they did pick up some naked bodies wandering around in the streets. And you're pretty sure you could figure out kind of what direction they went, or whether they were grouped up, or whether they dispersed.
But they got picked up.
No, it sounds
Sorry,
like the
was
people in the building were picked up. Like the live people were removed from
The
the
live
building.
people were picked up, and the rest just got corralled.
yeah. So there's a lot of data here, but you can. Why don't you do a let's do an extended cast or an extended ritual, so to speak, and you can look through the evidence and see if you can piece
Okay.
together what happened.
Should I do the computer plus gnosis plus 1 again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Just roll that until you get 5 successes. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
7.
Well, it takes about 10 minutes. But what appears happened, you shuffle everything into the right order and put it together, at least in your head. And what it seems like happened was most of the cadavers wandered out of this building and out into the street. And it looks like you can actually see on some of the cameras you and the rest of the people here jumping into the car and peeling out, following peeling out. And you see the cadavers sort of trundling out into the street aimlessly, and some of them look like they have an aim. Indeed, they are jogging along behind you, trying to catch up. It's pretty hopeless, but the rest of them sort of lose interest and wander around, and it looks like they kind of disperse across the entire isthmus. The whole neighborhood, huge, next neighborhood over, they went all over the place. They didn't stick together in one group. Then back here in this building, some people showed up and cleaned up within a matter of a couple of hours, and they collected everyone who was still in the building, and it looks like they cast some spells. It's hard to say over the grainy video footage, but you recognize some rote-looking gestures.
Yeah.
So some spells were cast, and then the people were taken out of the rooms, and you're not sure where they are now. And then over the course of the next couple of days, those same sorts of people, you can see them collecting the cadavers around town. Not the next couple of days, next couple of hours. But a lot of the cadavers evaded their attention because they dispersed so widely. But you can see, people see cadavers walking around and they freak out and run away. But then, once in a while, somebody will walk up to a cadaver and kind of collect it. And it doesn't look like the cleanup crew. It looks like somebody else is collecting cadavers and taking them to a different location. But
you don't
you
see anybody trying to put the cadavers in the basement here?
there are no cameras in the basement here.
Okay.
You're not sure what's in the basement. So
All right,
there's
Chelsea,
Oh
let's do
my.
this. Leroy.
there's two groups of people who over the 6 to 12 hours after the cadaver outbreak collected probably all of them. From the information you've learned in the last day, you would guess that one of the groups, the cleanup crew, was the Guardians of the Veil, and the other group you don't know who they are, but there's at least one person who was collecting cadavers for some other purpose.
Gotcha.
Well, should we go check out the basement?
Yeah, let's go down there.
Down to the basement.
Is like the power on in this building?
Yep, power's still on.
No. Okay.
The lights are on in the stairwell. All the doors are open. You go down to the basement, and you find significantly more than 3, more like 15 people standing here, most of them in their pajamas.
Do they look like people? People?
They look like people.
Are they alive?
They are alive, and their eyes are open.
Are they? Do they
Responsive?
react to our presence? Yeah, are they responsive?
They are not responsive.
Are they? Can I cast something to determine if they're under the some sort of spell?
Sure. Detect magic again. Your Gnosis plus Prime, I guess. Okay. It looks like, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a spell here. It looks like they've all got bubbles around their heads or something. They're all in a magic induced funk of some sort.
Can I detect what kind of magic it is? Basically, I want to try and dispel it off of one of them, and I don't know if I can.
Okay. It doesn't look like magic you have. Well, actually, no, it does. It looks like mind magic. You have one dot in mind.
I do have one dot in mind. So, can I dispel it?
Let's see. Mind. No, not mind. Prime. Dispel. Counterspell Prime. Must have one dot in at least one arcana. I mean, you're pretty sure mind will work. So, unless you've taken this as a rote, it's just going to be Gnosis plus Prime, but then I need to think it's versus target spell potency. So does that mean you get fewer dice, or 1 second? Prime. Counterspell Prime.
No, I think versus means there's a roll based on the power of the spell versus the roll he has for dispelling it. I don't know.
The target spell has a potency. He has to beat that with his roll.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So this is how counterspell works. Somehow this has not come up before. It says on page 222. It's an instant spell, and successes subtract from the target spell's potency. So basically, you need to. I don't know if you can cast it more than once and accumulate successes. That seems a little wonky, but hey, sure, why not? You stand there hacking away at a spell with your prime magic, and eventually you fray it enough to break it. In this case, you'll need 5 successes.
Can I try punching him in the face?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to punch him in the face.
I don't know why you'd punch Albacore in the face, but
No,
don't
whoever
punch
he's gonna. He's like, let's wake one of them up, and I want to punch one in the face before he
Can you maybe just tap it on the shoulder to start?
Nope.
this is the honey badger we're talking about.
He's just gonna come flying in from behind us and just jump over and smack the guy.
Judo chop one of them in the clavicle. Yeah.
You're lucky I haven't impaled one on my glaive yet.
So roll strength plus brawl. I don't know what's.
Oh shit! All right, let's do this.
Okay. You don't miss. You don't miss the catatonic man in front of you.
Hooray!
You land a solid one across his bow, and he just falls over.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
Nice.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try and dispel the bubble
hey
from
guys, I don't
a
think
different
punching
one.
him will wake him up.
Good call.
You're gonna dispel something.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and dispel, I guess, the bubble from the one anyone that didn't just get punched in the face.
All right.
Well, why not that one? I maybe took 1 point off.
There's a
Probably not.
There's a pleasant looking older lady staring straight in front of her.
Yeah, so let's start with Nana.
Okay.
I am ready to kill her if this goes poorly.
Great.
Get your Guandao out.
My Guandao is ready. I brought it down assembled, remember?
All right, so it's Gnosis plus Prime.
Gnosis plus Prime, and you need to accumulate 5 successes.
Okay, so we'll go for that.
Since there's nobody here casting the spell or, hitting you with an axe to stop you from countering it, you can take multiple attempts here and fray the spell into breaking.
All right. Ooh.
It might take a while, but that's more like it.
There we
5
go.
successes. So you cast the spell 3 times, and the bubble pops, and the lady blinks and stares around like she's waking up from a dream. Where am I?
You're down in the basement. Do you know what happened?
Oh, there were loud banging noises, and then some gentlemen came into my apartment, and now I'm down here.
This is helpful.
All right. Well, that didn't help much.
No.
Well, all right. Off you go back to your apartment.
Okay, I'll
Watch
put
out
a
for
bubble back on.
Watch out! Watch out for the blood and ichor.
Does anyone know how to put a bubble back on? Do they even know what the hell that was?
Can I do a roll to figure out what spell is on these people? Since I'm the mind mage in the group.
Sure. I mean, you can take a stab in the dark. Why don't you roll Gnosis plus Mind and see if you can sort of decipher what the spell is doing.
All right, there we go. Man, I'm on fire today.
Yeah, okay, 4 successes. It strikes you that this spell is acting on these people over time, and it looks like it's doing something to their memories.
So, does anybody have Polinia's, whatever the hell her name is, phone number to have her come back and reset this shit?
Philippa?
Yeah, whatever. What did I say?
Polonia or something?
Yeah. I had the right letter to start with.
Good work. No, we did not. Well, I did not get her number.
Hey, guess whose number we do have?
Echo Scarlatti? You have Echo Scarlatti.
There you go.
Yeah.
Your laptop makes another toaster ding,
Ding.
and it has found more footage. There are plentiful cameras and much higher definition on the UW-Madison campus, westish, southwestish of here, and you see some dude leading 3 cadavers brazenly through campus. And this was about 2 days ago. It looks like he's heading west through campus and toward the west end of campus.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. So let's call up. We probably don't need to call Echo about this, or do? I mean, can we just call up? What was it? Paradigm Solutions or something?
Well, you have you have a number for Paradigm Solutions, and the last couple times you've called it, Sodom picked up. But
Yeah, let's call and ask something.
Well, how about just tell him? So
Let's just call and tell
Yeah.
him we found a basement full of people that have head bubbles.
head
And
bubbles.
we popped one of them, and maybe you want to put that back on.
we
I don't know if she was done cooking.
unflashy thinged one.
All right, beep boop beep beep boop. You call Paradigm Solutions. Sodom does pick up. It's his day to work the front counter again, I guess. Hello.
Who's talking to him?
I don't have a cell phone.
You're the one who popped the bubble. It's your job.
All right, okay, fine. Hey, Sodom. It's the Merovingian.
Right, right, right.
That's never gonna get old.
So I don't know how much you're like informed about what Echo talks to people about, but we talked to Echo and he told us about, the dead people. And we went back to the apartment where we first saw them, and the apartment building appears to have been kind of cleaned up, and all of the like living human sleeper citizen types have been herded down into the basement, and they have some kind of like imprisoning bubble on their head. And we
Just
I
just.
popped one of them, and she didn't know what was going on. So
Jesus Christ, you're a guy
Oh,
who uses
boy.
50 words when 5 will work.
Hey, he's a verbose guy.
Yeah.
All right. Don't touch any more of those. That's gonna be the Guardians of the Veil that did that.
it seems kind of like a dick thing.
Well, they are well known for editing the memories of sleepers who see too much.
And being dicks.
Well, maybe.
He can't hear me.
Sure
He can
you
hear
can.
you.
We on speaker?
You heard that.
You gotta tell people if you're on speaker.
You're
jackass.
in the room. You can tell you're on speaker.
I was whispering under my breath to Yoder.
So should we just kind of leave these people?
Oh, the Guardians aren't going around murdering people. They'll wake up.
All right. He says they'll wake up and we can get out of here.
What about the one you woke up? Just let her go and or whatever. No problem.
He didn't say.
Okay. Well, if he
She'll
says
be
the other ones
fine.
will be all right, I'm guessing she'll be fine.
You can't put her
Yeah.
back to sleep. I don't have the mind magic to do that.
Just stand there
Even
and
if you did,
scream,
you
"Wake
just
up,
scramble her
sheeple!"
brains anyway.
Yeah. She'll blend in Madison anyway.
I'll just go to her room and stay there for a while.
She'll go to the Capitol
Or
and she'll
apartment.
sing or something. And,
All right. Well, I'm good with just leaving him then.
where'd that
Except, like,
guy?
all
Where'd
this
that other guy
normal folk.
go? Timmy,
Which other guy?
on the campus?
Uh,
The computer.
west side of campus.
Why don't you give me your roll again? Your mind plus.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 3 successes. You have no idea how he managed this, but this guy led 3 cadavers through the middle of UW campus in broad daylight. And no one accosted him or stopped him or asked him a question, as far as you can tell. He walked clear through campus and out the other end, and there's a few other cameras now. They're shitty again, but you can sort of track his journey. He headed. Well, you don't know the area well enough to know. The names of the streets or anything like that, but he headed west, and it looks like he headed into an area with a lot of private residences near the lake.
Seems like a good place to go. Good lead.
Hey,
Can he show me? Can he show me the footage that he's looking at?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you're-
okay.
he's-
Would I be able to detect magic via the footage?
you can
I see
try.
This guy is glowing with.
You can
Let's
try.
hey,
Yeah.
Stu.
Yeah, boss.
Here, how about this? You probably can go wherever you want a little faster than we can. Why don't you just go hang out or look around campus a little bit? Anything that looks like it's, campus. And
Okay.
Just see if you see anything weird. Like, are there any cadavers still out there that you notice?
You're
He's just
sending
gonna
the
go in the women's
stoner
showers.
spirit to a college campus.
Yeah, it's fine.
No problem,
You
boss.
can't really, yeah, just go look around for a while and then we'll meet you.
And you watch him slowly jog away.
Perfect.
You'll see him sometime tomorrow. Okay, so
Never to be seen again.
but yes, you can look at the footage on Timmy's computer. It may be indexed strangely or foreign to you as far as the interface and how to take it all in properly. I mean, you don't have the expanded mind that Timmy's working with, and you certainly weren't responsible for the organizational scheme.
Yeah.
But you can, if you ask him to call up a piece of footage, you can obviously look at it.
I do that.
I also do that.
Okay. So what are you looking for? Like
So he's. I want to see one of the high definition videos of this dude walking cadavers through campus and seemingly nobody notices.
Yeah, makes sense.
okay. Well, Timmy, why don't you roll just intelligence plus investigation, Timmy?
Okay. Hold on. Sheet intelligence. It's 5.
Okay, that's enough to find a pretty good shot of the guy's face. There's a camera on the front of one of the, like the science building or something, pointing out over the square in front. And you pause it, and you can't do any Blade Runner tricks with turning corners or zoom in and enhance or anything.
Okay.
Oh, was that the oven singing or the rice cooker? That's probably the rice cooker. Anyway, it's a pretty good high-definition shot of the guy's face. He's got 3 cadavers in tow. There are other people in the vicinity, but none of them are looking at him. They are all walking, minding their own business, looking at cell phones. No one's even looking.
Okay.
That doesn't seem normal.
Why don't you run facial recognition on this guy?
I'll work on that.
I want to see. Can I see, like, does he have a nimbus, or is there a spell that is preventing them from seeing him?
Well, you're looking at this footage with your mage sight active, and immediately it's clear to you that you might as well be looking at it, 6 months ago as a sleeper. It looks like traces of magic and nimbuses and so forth don't translate. If this guy has a nimbus, it's completely invisible on video footage.
Okay, so it's a sleeper camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to awaken some cameras.
Yeah, you got to awaken the camera. Yeah.
I see. Does that include spell effects?
Well, I mean, you
if you can see him.
you can safely assume the cadavers are magical in some way, and you can see the cadavers.
All right. Well, then, can I see if he has a spell active that is preventing people from seeing him?
The only evidence of that is that no one is looking.
All right.
I like Smoothie Full's thought on that it's just filthy millennials who don't give a shit about anything.
No magic involved. It's just millennials. No one knows how to live in the moment anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. What next? Are we leaving the people in the basement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's leave the people in the basement.
Let the spell finish working its magic?
Yep.
Yep.
Let the lady upstairs wonder why she's the only one in the building?
Yeah, I'm going to assume somebody's coming to clean her up.
I want to run a quick, just like reverse Google image search on that guy's face.
Okay.
See if I can pull anything up.
All right. Why don't you give me wits plus computer? All right. You plug you take a screenshot, you plug it into Google image search, and it doesn't turn anything up aside from, here's some similar images.
Yeah.
But then you think to plug it into Facebook, and since Facebook is a surveillance state all in and of itself,
Sweet.
Well, it doesn't really work that way because Facebook will ask if you want to tag friends, and you don't have this guy friended. But maybe you could do some magic hacking or something, and get Facebook to
Hack
suggest
the book face. Hack the book face.
hack Facebook.
Yeah.
Magical hacking. Is that what you want to do? You want to, or you could make another purposeful AI to.
Sure. Yeah. Let's do the purposeful AI thing.
What purpose do you want to bend it toward this time?
To find this particular person
Somewhere on the internet,
somewhere on the internet.
or like a police database or FBI database, or just somewhere on the internet.
Yeah, just somewhere on the internet. He might
Have
not be
your-
a criminal.
Have your other program look for him with the cameras too. Find where he is now.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's sort of what I was thinking.
I see. It's a live reverse Google image search. Okay, so why don't you roll Gnosis plus Mind, +1 for the laptop.
Meanwhile, to the grease mobile.
To the Grease Mobile.
Grease mobile.
Oh, 1 success. Well, that's enough to you think you can make some tweaks to your program while you drive around town. You're not on Wi-Fi right now anyway, so
Okay.
you're gonna have to modify the program a little bit to interact with Google Images.
Okay.
And then you're going to have to get on some good Wi-Fi because you got a lot of images to download. Oh wait, no. You were gonna look for more current camera footage with this guy's face on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, you take every screenshot you can of this guy and you plug them all into your existing AI and say, hey, look for this guy in more recent footage, and it will begin churning away as soon as it can connect to the internet.
Okay.
To
Find
the
me some internet-
library.
To the internet mobile.
To the internet mobile. There's internet all over the UW-Madison campus.
Yeah. That's my vote.
Yeah, let's go there.
Okay. Off to UW-Madison. Anybody else want to do take any avenues of investigation? Or you just want to wait for the toaster ding after?
I'm good with waiting for the toaster ding.
We may as well walk up to where Duder was and
Yeah.
maybe see if we can. I'd like to see if I can pick up on any kind of magical residue while we're up there that didn't come across on the camera.
Yeah. Okay. So who wants to? So you arrive at that spot on campus. I'm not going to belabor the point. You park the car. You walk there. What spells do people want to cast?
I'd like to
I
cast
don't know.
Funk Magic level 6.
Are you walking around a college campus with a glaive?
He's going to fit right in.
Like down one pant leg, and you're walking with a limp.
He can fold it up and keep it in his coat. It's just not useful when
That's
it's
a
folded up.
collapsible glaive.
It is.
All right. Okay.
We discussed this.
All right. So you're on the UW-Madison campus. Sorry?
I don't have any good spells to investigate right now.
But Liu wants to look for magic. Okay.
Yes.
Gnosis plus Prime.
That is still 5.
One success. There's a surprising amount of magic on a college campus, as it turns out. You're standing outside the science building, and you see a lot of magic, or the evidence of a lot of spells in that building. There are a lot of burgeoning young scientists who are perhaps augmenting their abilities, or professors who know a little more than you might expect, doing things you might not have expected. There's a lot of magic on this campus. Specifically with regard to the cadaver situation, You see a stinky trail of some sort of magic. Yeah, I mean it looks vaguely familiar. It doesn't look death related. Well, that's not true. You see two trails of stinky magic. One looks death related, and the other looks concurrent but not death related.
Do I have any way or need to like cast something to identify what school of magic it is or what arcana it is?
That's more or less what you just cast. But why don't you do the magical equivalent of encyclopedic knowledge to see if you can? It's a memory you're going to need to call up.
Okay.
So intelligence plus composure. Good Christ. Okay. Well, you would.
One.
Wow. All the dice. One. All right. And one of them was a 10, too. So, all right.
Yeah.
You actually rolled more dice than you thought. You would equate the different arcana, from the viewpoint of Prime, anyway, to, colors or feelings or, They are easily distinguished from one another, which is how you're able to tell one of these is definitely death, and it's likely that it's tied to the cadavers. The other strikes you as similar to some of the spells you saw cast in the apartment just a few minutes ago, Bayshore, and you sort of associate that smell with Fluke. So Fluke's specialties were Prime and Fate, and it's not Prime magic.
So it's fate.
That would follow. It seems to be the proper deduction.
It's a smart guy over here.
It ain't me.
So he went that way.
Let's go,
Yeah.
chums.
Yeah, you think you could probably follow the death trail at this point now that you've located it.
Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Let's try to do that.
Yeah. I mean, he was walking, so we can probably catch him on foot. He's herding cadavers.
It was 2 days ago.
That
Of
was
course.
2 days ago. Yeah.
Oh, it was 2 days ago? Oh. Well, let's follow it anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
What'd
at this point, you're going to be doing more or less exactly what Fluke was doing when she was tracking Adustus. She was using Prime magic to follow his stinky nimbus. Except instead of following a mage's nimbus, you're following traces of death magic that, were
We're still
animating
in
the
the
cadavers.
Greasemobile, right? We're driving to follow this?
No, you got out of the Greasemobile to walk onto campus, but you could go back to the Greasemobile and...
Let's go back in the Greasemobile. We can track it from the car.
We need to find where it actually meets a road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can
Well,
drive around that
all
side
right.
of campus and see if you can locate it.
Well, I'll follow it on foot. You go get the Greasemobile and meet me over that way.
Hey, good thinking.
Okay, done.
All right.
I'll call you on your not
Nothing.
a phone.
Why don't
Somebody
you...
needs to come
They'll
with
send
me.
off smoke signals.
I'll go
How
on
do
the Greasemobile with him.
Okay. Smoke signals. All right, roll Albacore, roll Gnosis plus Investigation plus 1 for the fact that you have a dot in death.
All right. Gnosis plus investigation plus 1.
Yes. Okay.
There's a good
Of
one.
course, that's pretty good. You have very little difficulty tracking the traces of death magic leaking out of these cadavers. The fate magic pops in and out. If you were trying to track that, you would not be having much success. But luckily, this idiot was dragging magically animated corpses around with him, and you can track that pretty easily.
Cool.
And you do indeed cross a road. I don't know what road, but you'll find a road. And who's driving the Greasemobile? So it would be Sammy, I guess.
Me. Sammy.
He won't let me drive.
Let's
It's
see.
got a tricky transmission.
Sammy, would you roll? Would you roll? Presence plus streetwise.
Okay.
Two successes.
Not bad.
That's good enough to know you sort of drive up and down the blocks and in a radiating fashion in a way that's going to optimize your chances of running into Albacore while he's wandering through the neighborhood. And yep, you pick him up. You find him.
Nice job.
Thanks.
So you collect your Albacore.
And Yoder was with me, right? Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I was walking.
Do I have to pick up Albacore?
You dick.
Could be like the end of
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
Planet Side 2 video.
Vision.
The Merovingian. All right, so we're running out of time here, but you hop back in the grease mobile. You drive along through this neighborhood, and you arrive at a private residence near the Black Hawk Country Club, right on the shore of Lake Mendota. And this is where the death trail terminates. And in fact, while you're here, you see another death trail coming in from a different direction.
Oh dear God, he's collecting.
Or they're collecting.
Let's charge in and murder everyone.
Nice of him to gather him up so we can have a clear shot at everybody.
All right, well, there we are. We are on the shores of Lake Mendota, having tracked.
Well, should we bunker down and get some rest and
yeah, you can do
go in
whatever you
next
want.
week?
Oh, I mean, we're done for this week. Yes, I'm just
Yeah.
summarizing for the end here.
Well, I think we kind of got some rest in the couple days, our quote unquote off time.
Yeah, you took
Right.
you took a day or two to study rotes and travel around buying flak jackets and all that kind of stuff. Cool. Well, that's it for this week then.
Awesome.
Good night, YouTube.